Welcome back to Python MC. We are going to break functions returning values. We're going to break EarSketch and show you all the different ways we can create errors. So we have beats 1, beats 2. We have our function definition, fit media list with these parameters, clip list, track start, end, and phrase length. Then we have the for loop with fit media clip track start end. We're going to print those values to the screen. Then we're going to increase the start by the value of the phrase length argument, and then we're going to increase the end by the phrase length as well. And we're going to increase track by 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. We'll see that it layers in really nicely. So the first time it's called, it puts beats, the list of beats on beats 1. The first one starts at 1, the next one starts at 5, the next one starts at 9 on tracks 1, 2, and 3 respectively. And then the next set of beats, beats 2, that goes in at track 4. So we'll see what that sounds like. With each loop, we increase the start by the phrase length. Let's try to break this. What if we got rid of that? We just didn't increase start and end by the phrase length. What would actually happen? Well, you'd see everything just starts at the same time. Okay, everything it would basically, we don't have that build up that we wanted to have before, where each beat sort of starts. So we have a phrase of each layer coming in with 1 beat at a time. It's not really an error. It's just not exactly what we wanted to compose. It wasn't the music track that we wanted to compose. So we're going to put that back. We're going to go ahead and bring that back. And so we're going to hit, command / or control / and we're going to bring that back into our code. And what if we didn't increase track by 1? What would happen? Well, you're going to get these overlapping track errors. That's the whole idea of increasing track by 1, is so you don't try to put one track right on top of the other. So we avoid that by saying track plus equals 1. So let's see, what else can we, so initially when we call it, track is going to equal 1, and you don't increase track, so it just basically just keeps on trying to put everything on track 1. It's kind of a very ugly process, basically. And then, so let's see. Let's go ahead and comment that back in. So now we return, what if we don't return track? So let's get rid of our return statement, see what happens there. Okay, well, what we see in this case is we get a type error. We expected a track number should be defined. So when we call fit media list the second time, it was expecting a track number. So when we call fit media, it's expecting a track number. So when we call fit media list the second time, track equals beats 1 endpoint, but you didn't return any value with beats you didn't return the value of track. So it actually doesn't know. It throws you an error because there's no value. It returns none. So when you first call fit media list and assign it to beats 1 endpoint, it basically, that value is effectively none. Okay, so therefore fit media can't actually run because it's expecting a track number. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's show you exactly what we mean by this. So let's go ahead and you see the error message down here, and it kind of gets, you see the next track will start at none. See, that's what we mean, because when you don't return a value, by default, a function will just return the value none unless you tell it what to return. Okay, and therefore, that's what throws you the error. Okay, so you basically, let's say we go ahead and say beats 1 endpoint. It's the same as saying beats 1 endpoint equals none. That would be the same thing. So that's basically what we're doing, because we didn't return the value of track. Now let's return the value of track. So that now beats 1 endpoint will equal 4 in this case, because that's the last value. So the current value of track, when you end the loop, will equal 4. So beats 1 endpoint now equals 4. So when you call fit media list again, it'll work perfectly fine. And, it'll go in at track 4. Okay, let's see. What else can we mess up here? Let's see. We can, of course, take away the colons. We'll get a syntax error. Of course, for loops need to have a colon at the end of it that sort of tells Python, or EarSketch in this case, that the next code is in that block of code. You could create some indentation errors. We've seen that before a million times, just by like deleting the indentation in our code. We can, of course, try to eliminate the colon here. It'll get confused. It's expecting a colon at the end of your function definition. Or we can, let's say, we can go ahead and delete this and not give the function the number of parameters it expects. And we'll see that fit_media_list takes 5 arguments and only 3 were given. So you got to give it the number of arguments it expects in order for it to run properly. So we're going to run that. It'll work perfectly fine. Let's see. What else can we do? Actually, we've broken this quite a few ways. We've gotten rid of some colons. We've gotten rid of some indentation. And we didn't increase track by 1, so we got an overlapping track error. We didn't return tracks. That created another type of error. And we didn't give it enough parameters when we called the function. We've broken this in a number of ways. We'll see you again on Python MC. Python MC.